What's the big challenge for you right now? Is it just the uncertainty of not knowing what to do next, or how much to exert yourself, or when to be ready, or what to do right now? Like, what's the biggest thing you're up against professionally right now?
For me, like I don't stop during the off season that often. I took 2 weeks off from throwing, and then I got back into it, and then I started throwing bullpens in November. And so for me, it's just my plan of attack now is 2 bullpens a week. Hopefully, within the next couple of weeks, we can kind of track the trajectory of the way this is all going, and we can kind of find out a date. But hopefully, get some hitters in there in the cage, so we can kind of either they can track, or I can throw to a hitter, I can see the strikes in, or they can actually swing, and we can move from there. But I do the same thing during the off season. I do it during the season. I just throw every day, throw for as far as I can, and then and that's about it. Like I'm very easy in that aspect, but I'm sure there are other guys, especially starting pitchers.
Right.
How many innings do you go? If you're going to throw a bullpen, do you throw a bullpen and sit down? How many kind of those do you do? Do you do 3? Do you do 4? Do you set up because we have no idea how long the next kind of segment of spring training will be when it starts back up again. So if it's 2 weeks, they need to be ready to throw 5 innings that first time out. But if it's 3 or 4 weeks, all of a sudden you can start at 3 innings, 4 innings, and kind of move from there. But it's just a guessing game right now. But for me, just go out there, throw bullpens, and throw as hard as I can.
And I think it's obvious you guys will need some sort of spring training to get back into this. The question is, let's say it's in June, hypothetically. Like, June in Arizona is not the same as February in Arizona. You know what I'm saying? So there's some logistical things to figure out as well. I'm curious how much and I know you're a very socially connected ball player, how much chatter you're hearing from guys right now. Are players more worried about real life? Are you guys talking to each other about the trade? What's going on, kind of behind the scenes?
Behind the scenes, there's a lot of kind of basic just business stuff, just kind of like, okay, what is going on right now? Are the facilities open? Are they not open? What can we do? We have to go home. Can we stay here? It's what's going to happen throughout the course of the year. Like, obviously we're supposed to start getting paid on the 26th, and nobody knows what's up in the air with that. So it's just kind of playing it by ear. But the biggest issue I've so far, especially with a lot of the players with group chats and with other guys, has been just the unknown. Like, there's been, every time something comes out, someone will speculate on something and then it gets blown out of proportion. And it's just that not knowing thing is always really hard, especially for baseball. It's like, your date when you have to arrive to spring training pretty much in December. So you're getting ready for that date. And then the schedule before that date. So where you're going to be on certain days. And it's just that unknown is really, really hard. And so that's why it's luckily, at least for me, like I do the same thing almost every day. Yeah. I don't really have to worry about what I'm doing differently on this day, on that day. But yeah, the biggest thing is just, okay, what's going to happen this year with everybody's contracts and service time and medical and just all those things. Because we've got people with family members that are pregnant. We got medical issues. We've got things going on that people need to kind of make sure they've got medical, which has already been taken care of. We already know that, but now it comes into service time and contract issues and stuff like that. Because you look at Mookie Betts, he's 102 days away from free agency. Right. What happens with a shortened season? How are they going to classify the service time? Right. And that's all stuff that the MLB and the MLBPA going back and forth on. And I mean, that's in their court, and hopefully we can get that all figured out. And I mean, I need 9 days before I reach kind of that 6-year threshold of free agency. So we'll. At the end of the day, we just play it by ear, and we rock up when they tell us to rock up.
So complicated. Like you mentioned, all the things behind the scenes. If I asked you, though, about a condensed season, right? Like if it comes to it where, hey, we can play games, fans or not, whatever, but we have to kind of rush our way through it. We may have to play a couple double headers a month. I'm curious, and you as a hockey fan, you've seen the NHL do this in recent years because of their work stoppage. Is that even possible to ask baseball to condense it even more and try and really pack in, like, let's say if they were trying to fit 90 games into basically 3 months? Is that even possible?
Yeah, I think it'll be very interesting. Obviously, there's a lot of things going around right now with players amicable to being double headers or kind of making sure that there's not as many days off, because there's certain months you just don't have that many days off. And then you'll look at it and all of a sudden you've got a couple within a week, and it's just, you wish those would even themselves out a little bit. But Yeah, I think as far as the guys I've spoken to, no one's disappointed in the fact of if they start throwing doubleheaders. If the season gets shortened, obviously we want to play 162, and that's our goal. But
Right.
whether that's quite realistic, who knows? But if they want us to kind of make up certain games here and there, whether it be a double, like a weekly doubleheader or like a series doubleheader or anything like that, as long as they give us the ability to have kind of an expanded roster a little bit, just to make sure guys aren't getting completely overrun, especially from the pitching side of things.
Right.
I'd be for position players. I'm not sure. We've got a couple guys who play every game no matter what, and so maybe that may affect them a little bit without having that extra day off and certain things. But from a pitcher standpoint, I'm like I'm all about trying to get as many games as we can. But I also grew up in Australia. Like we'd have 4 games a week, but it would be Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Sunday. So like we had weekly doubleheaders. And so I was a starting pitcher back then, but you kind of got used to that kind of realm of having a doubleheader. Whether they go for the doubleheader of 9 innings, whether they shorten that, who knows what's going to happen. There's so many balls in the air right now that for us, we're just kind of sitting back here and letting the chips fall where they may and just kind of waiting for our direction.
All right, fun one for you here. Let's paint out this hypothetical. You're on the mound. You're chewing on your mouth guard like you always do. You're in the stretch, and I'm in the batter's box. Okay, here's the question for you. Do you think you could retire me in an at-bat where I don't even make contact with a single pitch? What I'm saying is I don't even foul off a pitch. I either strike out looking or swinging. Do you feel confident I wouldn't even make contact in the at-bat?
Depends on what you classify as retire.
Well,
now, if I hit you, does that count?
I wasn't even thinking about that.
It's a valid question.
I was thinking about either striking out swinging or looking. Okay, I was trying to be polite, but you're right. You could bean me. You know what? I'm not actually. I would do a lot of things for television. I don't feel like wearing. What could you? 99, 101. Where could you get me?
As of my bullpen yesterday, that was 96.3.
All right.
So I mean that's the realm I'm at right now.
I've seen you ramp it up though. I've seen you ramp it up.
You could probably hopefully add 1.5 miles, 2 miles to that, but who knows? But I mean, it depends. If we classify it as old pitches, I think I got you. If we classify it as just fastballs, I think you'd be able to catch up to one.
Really?
Whether it be fair or foul, who knows? But I feel like you'd at least tick it. Like kind of like bench warmers. I ticked it.
I've stepped into a batting cage at 90 miles an hour, and I had a hard time seeing it. Like I felt it and I heard it. It was like, but I couldn't see it that well. And this was a pitching machine, you know. So let alone the deception that you could provide out there. So
all right, here's a question: if I was a goalie in hockey, do you think you'd be able to score on me?
Oh, absolutely. I feel like you leave the 5-hole open. I feel like you're weak.
Oh, I've got bad knees.
Blocker side
already open.
I feel like blocker side, you're a little bit like you don't really know how to use the blocker. So here's the question. Well, now here's the scenario. If I could get the puck up on you or 5-hole, I think I'm good. So
I think I can handle up, I think you've definitely got me 5-hole unless I lie down.
You love hockey, don't you?
We need to try this out. We need to put me in some pads, get out there, get on the ice, and then I can let's get some of the Sharks guys out there. They can have a couple shots at me, and then they get in the box and I get to pitch to them. We'll see who comes out on top.
I know some people on both sides. We can make all of this happen. So, Liam, I want to say thank you for spending some time, and it's as uncertain times right now, and I know you're very well connected, and you're got a great head on your shoulders. So, thanks for all your insights and input, and I wish you the best. Stay healthy down there or wherever you go during this kind of off season. But thanks for doing this, man.
No, thank you for having me. Everyone hopefully can stay safe and that's the biggest thing is right now is just staying safe, and hopefully we can eradicate this thing in a couple of weeks and we can get back to baseball in May.